I'm Mike Scott, joined right now by Thomas Lozano, who calls himself a creative thinker, and he says he has a solution to our California drought. Thomas, how are you, buddy?
Good. I'm good. How are you?
Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, so I want to hear about this solution you've come up with.
Well, we all know we live in the desert here. Rain, we haven't really depended on rain. The rain and the snow that falls here is up in the Sierras most of the time. So we built all these aquifers to fill them up with excess water. And our groundwater is going down, so we're depending on the weather still. With the technology we have, I think we can do the same thing they did with the oil. Pipe it. We can go to the Great Lakes, or we can go to any of the lakes north of us that are replenished with rainwater or snow water every year, so there won't be, the fish will be okay up there. The smelt can be good down here. We can fill up our groundwater, our aquifers, our lakes, everything with piping our water down here. All along the Sierras, fill them all up and let it seep into the groundwater. And that's my solution, basically.
Well, who's going to build this big pipeline?
Well, that's
the question.
That's outside of my hand. People with the money.
Yeah. I've actually heard somebody suggest that before, but they ran the numbers and said, oil makes a lot of money. Water, for a gallon of water, it's only pennies. So a gallon of gas, $3-4. Water, pennies. It makes more sense to have an oil pipeline as opposed to a water pipeline. It makes sense to take water from the parts of the country that have a lot of water. Look at the flooding that's going on in Houston right now.
Texas?
Yeah.
Let's get some of that water over here. They don't have to flood.
Yeah, but somebody has to step up and pay for that pipeline to be built. You must have thought it
I'm not
through
a
a little
rich
bit.
man.
You're not a rich man?
Not a rich man, but the farmers here can get together. They're the ones that need the water most, and they're the ones, taking up the groundwater. They could put their monies together, and as long as no politicians get in their way, we can get this done.
Well, you're not going to build a big pipeline from one part of the country to the other without the politicians getting involved. It's not going to happen.
Okay, well, let's get them involved.
Wait, first you said don't get them involved, now you're saying get them involved.
Because it seems like they create a lot of red tape. There's so much competition among politicians out there. Whoever they're sponsoring or representing, the monies they represent, they have to answer that. So if they make it a community issue, a valley issue, which it has become, and have a little care for the people down here, we can get the water here. And that's my solution. I believe it will work.
Do you see this as an above ground pipeline or below ground?
Well, the engineers will have to figure that one out, but as long as we get the water here, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Might take a little bit to fill up the groundwater, where we won't have that problem. The rivers will be full, the smelt will be swimming, the salmon will be swimming, farmers will be happy, and our crops will be growing.
Why don't we just build more dams to save the snow and the water when we get it?
There again, we depend on the snow and the weather to fill those up. The weather's changing. It seems to be changing. So I'm not sure if we can depend on the weather for so many years.
Yeah. So did this pipeline idea just come to you, in a dream, or how did it come about?
A lot of things come in dreams to me, but I've had this idea for years. But now you hear people complaining more about the water situation. So I figure, well, why hasn't anybody come up with this? Let's just get the water, borrow the money, borrow the water from Lake Tahoe, I believe, is getting dry. But we got the Great Lakes up there, and there's a lot of water up there.
Yeah, there's plenty of places we could get the water from,
yes,
but you're talking a pipeline hundreds or thousands of miles long, and
PVC. PVC will be cheap.
It'll be cheap. All right. What else are you working on, Thomas? Any other creative thoughts you want to share with us?
I got a whole lot, but
nothing you want to share today?
No. Just that I'll have a clean conscience mentioning it, because we do need the water here, and I want to help the people out.
Okay. Any? You have a website or
nope.
Email?
I don't get on Facebook. Or
you don't get on that stuff?
No.
Probably a smart man. All right, Thomas Lozano, thank you for coming in today.
You're welcome.
Creative thinker Thomas Lozano here on Central Valley Talk.